over time Candice Patton has won over many fans who have come to enjoy her interpretation of the enduring DC Comics character. Sadly, Patton's career did not start off well as her casting was met with a lot of opposition from fans. Patton is now speaking out about staying with the job despite online hostility and originally lacking support networks as the superhero show approaches what may be its final season. Given that Iris West had always been represented as a white redhead, it was a little surprise when Candice Patton was chosen for the part. However, there were those viewers who welcomed the alteration for this fresh interpretation of the Flash mythology right away. Unfortunately, a torrent of racist and sexist online abuse followed those encouraging words. In essence, Patton entered a situation where there were no current protective measures in place. And it was challenging for the star, who was one of DC TV's first well-known black actresses. She said, "It's also a very dangerous place to be in when you're one of the first, and you're receiving so much backlash from it and there is no help. Now, people understand it a little better, and they understand how fans can be racist, especially in genre, misogynistic, all of that. But at the time it was kind of like, yeah, that's how fans are, but whatever." Even with the companies I was working with, CW and Warner Brothers, that was their way of handling it. I think we know better now that it's not okay to treat your talent that way and to let them go through this abuse and harassment. But for me, in 2014, there were no support systems, no one was looking out for that. It was just free range to get abused every day. There were no social media protocols in place to protect me. They just let all that stuff sit there. When it comes to fandom, such harassment has sadly become all too frequent. The Flash is by no means the first TV show or film whose casts have experienced it. Candice Patton has responded to the critics throughout her tenure on the show, though. She once gave a comment that was gold in response to a complaint that she was spoiling the show. It can be unpleasant to deal with such criticism, but as she noted on the Open Up podcast, what she found frustrating was how she was treated differently from her co-stars. She said, "It's more so the day-to-day stuff that affects me, like the protocols in place and the things I see happening for my white counterpart that's not happening to me. Seeing how I'm treated differently than other people. Seeing how I'm not protected by the network and the studio. Not promoted in the same way they would promote other people sometimes. Those were the things that not necessarily hurt me but frustrated me." The young and the restless star even said during the chat that she was unhappy and wanted to leave the show as early as season 2 of The Flash. She shouldn't have had to suffer these things during the previous several years, I believe most of us would agree, but at least some good came from her trials. Nowadays, studios pay closer attention to safeguarding performers of color from similar assaults. The Moses Ingram character played by Obi-Wan Kenobi faced racial hostility, and the Star Wars series condemned anyone who expressed such views. As was already said, Candice Patton has also grown to be a treasured element of the DC TV mythos and has paved the path for other women of color in the genre. Patton has discussed representation and why it's important, along with others like Titan's Anna Diop. Additionally, Iris West has been portrayed as a black woman in more contemporary comic books and animated films, a trend that was maybe sparked by Patton's work. More recently, Candice Patton missed a few episodes of The Flash's season 8, although she was announced as returning for season 9 before the season finale. One would expect that Patton would be treated with the decency and respect she so well deserves as the show approaches what may be its last year.